Hello, everybody. Welcome to the workshop for tonight. How's everybody doing on this kind of overcast Thursday, at least where I'm at? Hopefully everybody's okay. We have finished up that enormous red dragon that I was working on, and now we are moving along to some commission work. This is going to be a drow named Frost. There have been some kind of cool paint requests for this one. If I can actually get in close, I'll try and get the eyes. I'll try and get the eyes done. But it's going to be interesting because of how small the character is and the hat. And I've been kind of staring at it for a couple minutes here, looking for little bits of casting remnant so that I can make sure that it is smooth. Because it's got to be set in the right spot. And yeah, getting to those eyes is going to be tricky. You did say the right eye was blue, and that one's going to be easier to get to. I might be able to pull that one off, but we'll see. But I think we'll be all right. Let's see. How's my focus looking? Am I in the right spot? I think I'm going to end up with her here a lot, I think. So I need to bring my camera back up. I'm essentially resetting everything from that enormous dragon. Let me move this over, and I'm going to give it a quick adjustment. I think that's where I should be if I'm going to be around here. Again, getting back in, retuning things. Getting back to the point where I'm going to be slapping the camera around. But I feel like we should be doing okay. So let's get into it. I'm actually going to start from the skin and the face. So what I want to do, I think, is get a very pale gray. And I'm just going to go across the eyes. I'm going to go across the eyes with this ghost gray. Because I know she's got kind of a pigmentation lack in that area as the description of the character, and on her hands, so we'll get to those too. I'll do the hands and the eyes. I'll try and pick this up before I start getting into the rest of the skin. Just a tiny bit of this ghost gray. Where is my super duper detail brush? Because I am not going to need a whole heck of a lot of this, but I want to make sure it's very smooth. On time. Thanks for showing up. I always appreciate everybody who comes by, even if it's just one or two folks. It's nice to hang out, have somebody basically to talk at. I know you guys don't necessarily get to talk back. How far over? Oh, there's her cheek. I'm basically just going to hit that right around her eyes there. I don't want that to be any bigger. Essentially stopping at the cheekbones. And you had said that the ring finger and the pinky are the white parts, and it is basically kind of half down her hand. So I'm going to go like this. Let's find that finger. And like I usually say, I'm not too worried about hitting like the sword handle and things like that. I just want to get the base color on her fingers. Hopefully everybody's keeping healthy. And I'd like to actually say a quick thank you to Inquisitor Wall. He's a new follower, and he just subscribed right before the stream started. So thanks a lot. If you are who I think you are, I appreciate it. I mean, I appreciate it regardless of who you are. Don't get me wrong. But I think I know you in person. All right. Let's get around the corner here. Get the tips of those fingers. And that'll give me about half the hand with a nice light color. And then we'll get the ones on the shield grip. Like that. And the edge of her palm. Right now, I can't get the thought of the old Gateway computer boxes out of my head. So we'll start there. Get that taken care of. And I know that that right eye is gold. So we're going to try it before I go anywhere else. Like I did with the dragon, I'm just going to take a very, very, very small bit. One little dab off the top of the bottle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get most of it kind of drawn away from the brush, just so I can get the curves on the end. And we'll see if we can get it. I mean, there's a possibility. If I can get this to play nice. No. Nah. We're going to go with a nah. My brush is not small enough for this particular scale of figure. Sorry. I'm going to screw it up if I try it. But she does basically have a domino mask right now of that white. And we'll adjust that color as we move forward. Left eye gold, right eye blue. Yeah, I should have gone. I had it swapped. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get some black, and we are going to do the skin tone because it's a drow, so drow are very, very dark skinned, black in most cases. Sometimes they're painted with like a really dark blue. I learned about drow way back in the day in high school and was told at that time, or read at that time, that they had black skin, so we're going to stick with that. I will highlight it with a mix, a tiny bit of gray, but I'm just going to get this base coat in here for the skin. Before I started the stream, I did an undercoat for a primer coat base, and I've been doing that lately because it spares you guys from watching me paint a miniature essentially 2 times. One with very basic base coating, and then one with some detail. But anybody wants me to go over base coating techniques and reasons to do particular colors, I am absolutely happy to talk about that. So just because I don't do it live on stream doesn't mean to not ask those questions if you got questions. We're just going to pop down here, and I'm going to get the other half of her hand with the black. Make sure there's an even division between her fingers. And I was told that doesn't have to be perfect, but I want to see if I can get this. See, I went over the white there a little bit, so I'm going to go back and fix that in just a second. Let's get her thumb, her index, and her middle finger on the shield. But realistically, in any manner, always remember, as long as your undercoats are smooth, you can always go back and touch up a little bit. It's okay. Yeah, we'll get in there and we'll highlight the skin a touch as we move along with detail in the later stages. I'm going to pick up this super light gray again and straighten this line out right here. Oh, I got some on my thumb. Already got a little bit of gold on my thumb. Tonight's record is 12 minutes. I think my quickest was 5. But we're getting back to used to this setup. I did spend 5 episodes with the camera in a different spot with that huge dragon. So, hey, it is a Hero Forge miniature. The detail is excellent. I'm very happy with Hero Forge. I do a lot of Hero Forge minis. Everything behind it, everybody back here is also Hero Forge miniatures. That one's a commission. These 2 are personal. This one is also personal. So that's a character. This is 2 forms for a character, and that's another character. Looking forward in a month or 2 getting back together with my in-person D&D crews, because we miss them. Although we did do a couple of online sessions last weekend that worked out pretty well. Alright. So the next thing I think I'm going to do is snag my standard brush. I'm going to see how this one's feeling tonight. The Vallejo #1. Because I'm going to go on to doing the armor coat. And you see how this is a little bit wide? These bristles, I'm a little concerned. I think I had mentioned this a little while ago that I had overly cleaned it. Like I was a little aggressive in cleaning, so that they're not getting completely together. So it's not going to be a great detail brush. I feel like there's a bit I'd have to get in here inside the base of the brush and loosen it up. But that I might have killed the geology. I'm going to basically mess the brush up. I was going to use big words and I screwed it up, so I think I'm going to set that one aside for now. Let's switch over to an old Citadel detail. This one's got a bit more integrity in the bristle position, even though I got 1 or 2 of them that are sticking out. That'd be cool. I've got... So who do we have so far? We've got Reese done, we've got Smoke done, we've got Ilfna done. We just need Padfoot, Bernard, and Cleric. So, well, it's Delirium's game for these particular. Well, not for this character, but for these two here. Those guys are buddies. They work together. He made a pretty cool homebrew setting. So Naf, you said that this is Nafi's model, Nefastu's model, by the way. You said that the armor was fairly utilitarian, but it maybe died soon. Do you have a preference for the color? Or should I not do the armor just yet? We'll do the bright green. I think you like the jade green that I had done on... you liked this one, right? And it's going to get kind of close to some of those hummingbird pictures. I might be able to get something even brighter as a highlight on that if I mix it. But we'll see. I'm going to start. I think I'm just going to do the green on the cloak and the hat. You said the cloak and the hat were both this crazy jade green, right? Okay. I'll work with that. And since they are slightly larger, I'm going to go with my large brush. My old Citadel standby. Arge brush. It's covered in paint, sorry. So let's pick this up. Again, I don't know if you can see it, but I'm trying to make sure that it's about half down the bristles. I don't want to go all the way down. I like to draw it on the palette a little bit, just to even things out. I'm not going to worry about getting on the hair, because I'll be painting that later. I do want to get all under the cracks and stuff. Do you have a preference with the cloak as far as the color? Do you want the whole thing that jade green even underneath, or should the liner be a different color? It's a legit question. But we're just going to keep it smooth, get that first coat on, make sure all of the paint goes on nice and smooth. Yeah. The description that was given to me, initially, there was a picture of a crazy hummingbird. And the bright colors are essentially the personality I was getting from the description. So I wanted to grab hummingbirds as reference photos because they have a beautiful string of colors. I think they're awesome. So sort of using that as a basis. Files for the magnesium white screen. Okay. Well, let's make sure that this is properly coated down the line, down the edge. We're going to start with this nice bright color. Make sure I get all around the edges. We'll hit this. We'll hit this feather. The feather is going to be bright orange, flame-like. So I've got a good amount of practice over the past couple of weeks with fiery colors from that giant red dragon, so gotta be careful under here. I don't want to get it on her face. I'm gonna hold off on the front while I get down around underside. Okay, it's going to start looking like this. We're getting there. The nice part about getting some color on it, I always think, is that you're starting to see what the character is going to be. Be super careful up under her brow. Okay. That's coming along. And then her hair is going to be silver. We'll get in there in just a second. I was actually going to work it up probably from gray. We're going to try something out. So I'm going to undercoat the hair with the somber gray. And again, I don't necessarily need a whole lot of it. She does have a lot of hair hanging out there, though, so. I can work that up into a silver, which should be pretty nice. I like that you use the same hair for both of the minis that I've painted for you. And that on Hero Forge, this hair is actually like head tentacles or something. Because of the individual strands on this one are pretty heavy. Could be. Could be it has a darker lining. Usually, I would imagine a Cloak of Elvenkind, by description, the outside is more of a neutral tone, like gray. Because it essentially, like the cloaks in Lord of the Rings, are the basis for Cloaks of Elvenkind. They kind of magically blend into the surrounding. So it can really be whatever color you want. Right now, it could just, in everyday wear, when you're wandering around with it, it could just be it's adapting to Frost's taste in colors. So it can start wherever you want it, as far as I'm concerned. Gotta be careful down here at the edge. Again, I'm going to work up here at the very top, but I might actually save the real up close part for the detail brush if I can't get the tip kind of tucked in nice and close. Shouldn't be a big deal though. What's everybody been up to this week? How are people keeping busy? Those of us who have not gone outside much. We occasionally go for walks around the side street that I live on. Get Leona out there on the bike. But otherwise, we've been... I don't know. I think we've been real darn good as far as keeping distant from people. Like, we haven't gotten within 10 feet of our neighbors right now. Oh, there's one tucked in here under her. There we go. Yeah. Got it. Just being real gentle under here. Cool. Well, I appreciate folks being responsible with this. I wish more people would take it seriously. It wouldn't be a big deal if we could guarantee everybody was in for 2.5 weeks. Call it like 17 days, maybe 20. We'd avoid all the issue, and there wouldn't be a problem. So, but unfortunately, self-interest and stupidity is rampant. I gotta try and get in here. This may require a smaller brush. Nope, never mind. Got it. Let me see if I can get up under this point. I'm basically trying to tuck it in up next to her cheek, but there's a bit of hair down there that I'm trying to just cover. And if I can use the end of the brush properly, really, really gently, just kind of getting it in the crack. There. Give me just a second. I need to hit Pandora with a bat. No, I don't want this. Go away. There we go. No offense to Ed Sheeran, but I don't like his music. He does not need to be showing up on any of my stations. What is up with that? There's a little bit of like... It should be okay. That should be okay. Green and blue and purple. Green and blue and purple. Green and blue and purple. A couple of them are green and blue and purple. Is it the one on the branch, or is it the one in mid-flight with its pink wings sticking out? I can easily do it like a nice dark purple underneath the inside of the cloak. And I think that would look good. I have just the color for it. Purple, green, and gray work really well together, so it'll look nice with the silver gray hair. Gonna use this one. Hexed Lichen. Oh, the little one. Okay. Yep. Yep. So what I'll do is this. And voila. I feel like my color is a little off on the screen, but you guys might be seeing it all right, because that jade looks more blue. But it is most definitely green. And this is most definitely purple. Yeah, I like the underside of the cloak being purple. I'll work it in a couple other places too, I think. Probably going to cheat it a little and get it on the armor, but I'm not worried about it underneath the cloak. So I'll get back to that later and take care of it if it actually is a problem. I'm just going to make sure it comes up to the edge of that green. Yeah. That'll look nice. That little guy? Yeah, I don't know if there's much I can do about that as far as my lighting goes. Alright, let me get the rest of the edge of the hair up top because I see some spots. Where I need to tuck it up and make sure it is properly coated. There was a little bit down here where the green was coming through, so I want to fix that. Okay. Let's go down and work on, I think the pants I'm going to work in as gray. I know you said the armor might be black, but I think the black armor on the black skin is just going to be too much black. I was thinking about possibly doing a bit, she's got like, so this bit under here is almost like a skirt-like material. It isn't necessarily the armor. It might be like a wrap over the armor, which I feel like is like a personal touch that she would have put on, a sash kind of thing, perhaps. So that might be fabric, and I think I might do that in the purple as well. Okay, so I'm thinking this needs to be purple, much like the underside of the cloak. I know this is a belt, but I'm going to make sure I got that purple covered under there. I'm not going to worry about the pants underneath at the moment. How high is that? Did I hit it all? Nope. Need to get this last bit up top. There we go. Make one last check to make sure I got everything. I'm probably getting right in the way of the camera at the moment. I apologize. think I've punched it 3 or 4 times already. Under the rim of this cloth accent. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Now what's the next step? Let's decide on the armor. I think she's got these cool pants tucked into the tops of her boots. The armor itself needs something. While I'm here, however, let's hit that feather. Go back over to my itty bitty brush. Oh, she gonna be a rainbow. So this is a pretty good illustration of why I usually do an undercoat with that yellow foundation paint. You see how it's some of the black is sort of seeping through that? That's what happens a lot with yellows. It can be very, very tricky to get a smooth yellow coat. And I hit the hat. I'll fix that in a second. We haven't done any highlights or detail or real like craziness with the hat yet. It's hard to get the yellow to go on smooth over large surfaces. Luckily enough, this plumage is small, so I can make sure it is just sitting properly coated and not have to worry about it too much. But anything larger than stuff like this, any sort of surfaces, even like if I was going to do the hat in yellow, I'd work the hat up from that yellow base coat. Foundation color. For some reason this evening, the glare from my light is bothering me. It's causing me to lose a little bit of depth, but I think I'll get things all right. You know, your stream did get super choppy and then die, huh? At about 10 o'clock? Last night, that is. Not right now, obviously. And this is not your average everyday drow, just so you know. It is... No, it's in roughly the same spot, lamp-wise. To be honest, I think it might be the fact that I had put my corrective lenses in last night to adjust, because I realized I was getting kind of nearsighted. And I'm probably just seeing things more sharply at the moment. So... Just making sure that this hat is properly coated. Okay. I feel like what would go well? What would go well for her armor? Is it just leather? Or is it a metallic armor? Is it a heavier armor than that? Yeah. It's certainly more RAM always helps. Especially 16 gigs. I'm running 32. I front loaded my my RAM on this machine when I got it, with the intention of running streaming, recording music, various images, and Discord all at the same time, as well as possibly games. So I built it for the purpose. Purpose built. Yeah, okay. I am going to work on the next set. Where are we at? 842. Okay. I'm still wondering about the armor. If I go too bright, it's going to stand out like crazy. If I don't go bright enough, it's going to be weird. Stud leather, dex too high for me to go higher. Okay. How would you feel about the armor being in the neutral gray range? Kind of like I did Percy's greatcoat in the Critical Role run. I'm thinking of a light gray with a dark shader over it to bring it down, but it would act as kind of the neutral in the middle, and it would go with her hair. Yeah, too close. So let's work with this, because this was the color I had used for Percy's coat. It'll be the same base coat as her hair color, and we'll work around bringing her hair up to closer, lighter silver, and her armor down. We'll go in one direction on the hair and the other direction on the armor, and you guys will be able to see a good example of starting with the same color and just working the shade in two directions. Trying to be careful around the back so that I don't get too much of it on places I've already painted, but again, we haven't gone in and started doing highlights or proper crazy detail bits, so I'm not too worried because I can always just hit it with that same base coat color. I'm going to get it down to her bracers because I think her bracers are going to be a slightly different color, but we'll find out in just a second. Oh man, in most cases 16 gigs should be fine. I way overdid it on purpose. I knew that most of the stuff I was going to use it for wasn't going to require 32, and most of the stuff I don't know if I've run into a program that will run all 32. The closest thing to a giant resource hog was PUBG when I was playing that game, because that game was poorly compiled as far as I'm concerned. I remember trying to play that one initially, and the game itself was like 6 gigs, and it was taking up 8 gigs of RAM. It would just suck up all 8 gigs of my RAM at the time, and I was like, how does that even work? I would hit the ground in that game, and I have to count to 20 before I saw what the buildings looked like. It was ridiculous. Question: the armor all the way down her leggings, or is it just upper body? I feel like her pants should be kind of flamboyant, and I feel like if it was armor down there, it would probably be the same bit. I mean, it might be armor, but I mean, she's got to have nice pants, right? Let's get a little closer to... Got an idea. We're gonna go Crazy Clash. I'll redo her armor with some magic blue, because I can bring that shade down if I need to. Plus, that magic blue looks like it's closer to some of those hummingbird colors. Super bright. This is ultramarine blue, by the way. No, magic blue. Ultramarine is darker. I think I just showed that on the camera and then completely went backwards in my head. Ultramarine was too dark. I want to work down from brighter shades because that'll allow me to hit the spot I'm looking for as far as colors go? She's gonna be clashy. She's gonna be super duper. You want loud? I think blind people are gonna see her coming. I gotta get back up under here, which is a pain in the butt. Get up in the crack. Super duper. Okay. All right. Where was I? Blue and the purple. I gotcha. I gotcha. I know where you're coming from. We're gonna work with some more Lord Purple. Come here. We're going loud. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love this color. I used it on both of these two back here, so it's a good color. Gonna get everywhere. And we'll start picking up details on other bits in just a second. I am just attempting to get in at all of these places underneath with this color, as it is hard to reach underneath the cloak. Thinking PJ is gonna have a better understanding about how Frost's mind works when he sees this mini finished on the table next to Rolf and Euronymous. All right. Boots. Well, that's possible. It's entirely possible. Because there is a bit of yellow in there. So let's do... I almost grabbed the wrong color. There are so many of them on my palette right now. Not gonna lie, the word that's coming to mind for this particular color palette is cacophonous. Just trying to make sure that this is properly covered. So, I think I'm going to do the bracers in the same way. Maybe she got the bracers and the boots in the same leather shop. But there's some detail on these that I'm going to have to go back and pick out. Because they definitely have a cross of something, which could be like metallic detail. Maybe some gold piping or something like that. Some custom nailhead work along the spine. Working on up in here. It's tricky because I know she's got black skin, so I have to be careful as I get to the edge of her hand, the edge of the end of the bracer where her hand starts, to be like, not just going right over it. I'm like, no, the black is intentional. Don't touch. Like, she doesn't even have a skin tone that's normal, as in like uniform on her. It's almost like nothing gets along. There is a belt in here somewhere. All right, this music. It's just not. You're not doing what I want you to do. All right. Make sure I get a second coat of this purple to make it. It needs to be as bright as possible. However, I'm going to leave some of the ones that were darker in the cracks just to sort of automatically add in the shade. Mostly just picking up the raised sections with the second coat. Ba-ba-ba. I do believe she does have a strap around her leg, which looks like a leather strap, which I think will also be that red. Go back and pick up some more of that red. It's not going to stand out super bright against that purple, but that's all right. Or it'll stand out enough. All right. So I need to do a little bit of work. I definitely rubbed the edge of her hat a bit, so let me fix that. I'm putting the coats on thin enough that when I handle corners, it's getting kind of pushed away. So I'm attempting to do more handling along where the weapons and stuff I'm planning on doing are, so I don't screw these up. All right. Where is my orange? What, the belt? The strap around her leg? The jade green like a cloak or a different kind of green? What would you like? I can make it a slightly dark green if you want. There's no reason I can't go over it now. I feel like she picked up this bright coin purse someplace. She's like, I like orange. We'll also do a bit of orange on the top of this feather. Uh-oh. I hear somebody close by. Not a cat. I hear a kiddo. What is she doing downstairs? How do I get under here? I thought I heard you coming down here. Aren't you supposed to be in bed?
I love you.
I love you too, kiddo.
That lightning, panda, and then space, purple heart, and then space kitty. That was me. So the lightning and the panda was presenting me.
Yeah.
And then I did the heart, which means I love.
Yeah.
Which was the love, and then I did a space, and then I did the kitty, which was you.
Oh, thank you, sweetie.
So I love you.
I love you too. Give me a hug. Night night. Mwah. Okay. Let's get a good green. Gonna go with some dark green. Just a dark green stripe. And then I gotta get in here and shade and highlight all these colors, so that's gonna be fun. Ah. Okay. Nice dark green stripe. She's just full of different colors all over the place. Alright. I need to figure out how to get some shading in. Alright, let me get this black real quick because I want to do... I need to pick out the edges of her sword and her hand and the pommel. It needs to be able, I need to see that division at the moment. I say I'm gonna have to get the division, but her top half of her hand is black, so that's not gonna work. Sorry. I just painted my hand with her sword. Whoops. Pick up over here. Get the handle marked off. Definitely gonna need to do something with the color on this handle in the back of this shield. You were saying the shield is nothing special, right? Shield is just a thing. Al said the same thing about Rolf, and then Anthony was like, "It's a magic frickin' shield." Okay. Well, I think that's where we might go with some bright yellows. I'm gonna try and bring the feather more. I need it to be louder around the edges, so I want it to kind of, I'm going to get in here with some yellow and see if I can get it to pop a little bit better. Alright, now I need to get into some shading. There are... I don't need the detail brush. I want standard size. Now the question is, can I get it up under the brim into the right spot? I think the answer is yes. I believe okay, clean that up a little. And that is getting closer to the colors on those hummingbirds that I was looking for. Remember, always use 2 hands when you're closing these clip top lids, because holy crap, that can be a mess. Get some shading on the cloak now, and on the hat it's getting a little bit better. Gonna grab some of the dark tone real fast, and I'm gonna get her hair with it real quick. Selizabeth G, thank you for the follow. I apologize for butchering your user ID. Say hi. Hopefully your evening is going well. I'm working on a mini for Nefastu here. And her primary directive was that she be loud. Her favorite color is loud. So we're going with crazy bright hummingbird. Oh, how's it going? Long time no see. Welcome aboard. Thank you. That was the intent. I fondly remember growing up watching Bob Ross, and I feel like there's no Bob Ross around right now, and people could use a Bob Ross, so I'm doing my best to help people chill out a little bit and relax. Kind of get out of their own heads as much as I can. And have some fun painting and talk about painting and stuff. So thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. Alright. I feel like I want to darken up the blue, but I want to do something a little bit different and not just... So I'm going to use this wash on the blue. It's purple. It's going to do some interesting things with that blue area. It'll darken it up, and I can also put it over. Also, gotta be careful, but I can also do things like put it over the purple chunks. I gotta be careful because a lot of the other washes are still wet, so I can't get my finger on them. We're just hanging out. Get that. I feel like there's a belt there, but it's weird because it isn't well defined. So this is going to start picking out things a bit more. It's hard to tell, but the blue is a little bit darker than it was. It's also going to help with this very bright purple. I can probably even go all the way down onto the boots. Having a little bit of fun with this. I'm trying to see how far I can get it to go. This might help me bring the model together a little bit more, because this palette is very, very, very diverse. Going all the way up underneath, under this cloak. Alright, I think I'm going to give her a break just for a second. But that's going to start bringing things together a bit. Yeah, Motley. Okay, let me put her down for just a second. I want that shader to dry real quick before I go on to anything else. He says reaching for other shaders. I need to hit that pouch. I'm going to play around with this a little bit. We're kind of doing a little bit of an experiment. Okay. Yeah. And what I'd like to do up on that feather, put this away real quick. Where is my contrast? I'm trying to pick her up just by the base. All right, hang out for just a second there, Frost. I need to slow us down for just a second. It's 9:30 and I skipped my little stretch. So I'm going to stand up for a second while she dries. Put her back a little bit farther. This is where she's at the moment. She is bright AF. But I got to stand up. Okay. I do have the mini grabber thingy. It's just that a lot of the time it puts the miniature outside of where I'd like them to be. I still haven't really got used to using it with where the camera is. Gosh, she's crazy. Okay, so the trim on that armor. Do I want to do it in silver? Or do I want to do it in gold like that hummingbird? Blue and gold looks nice together. Does she like gold or does she like silver? Do it in copper? I could do that. All right. So I'm super happy. 65 followers now and I'm 18 subs. That's awesome. I really appreciate it, guys. Okay. So is it copper or silver? What do you want? Copper? Silver? Gold? Like where are we going with this? Where are we going? This shield has got a lot more on the face than I would have expected. That's okay. I feel like this blue needs to be a little darker. She's a little shiny at the moment, but that's because she's still a little wet. So I gotta be careful. I am choppy. Look at that. Some of my feet is just getting all jumpy. I apologize, guys. Hopefully it's not too bad. Too jarring. I'm going to have to definitely pick out some details here. Color shade work. Let's go with silver. Yeah. Yeah, it definitely is. I can do some little gold highlights in places. I almost knocked my camera over. Did you guys see that? I almost took that sucker right out. I did throw it off the desk once, so. Okay, let's hop back off of this. She's still got some wetness down inside there. Let me check her hair quick. You know what? I need to do a little more detail work on that feather. I am not super pleased with it just yet. Let me brighten it up a little. It's starting to stand out a bit better. Depends. I don't usually... These guys are small enough I don't necessarily need to prime. Plus I use some old foundation paints from Citadel and some of their newer base coats. And the base coats are great for going directly over plastic or metal. It essentially gives like a primer undercoat, but with a color to it, so that it's better for layering a color on top that's close. You don't get as much degradation in color as you usually would. So my thought with the silver was this. Not only are we going to use it for some of the detail on the armor, I was also going to use it effectively as a highlight for the hair. Because is her hair actually like a silver metallic, or should I work it up through white, or up to almost a gray-white sheen like the same I used on the skin? That's the real question. Also, once I get in here with the silver, we might decide you don't like it. And if that's the case, I can just go over it and fix it. I feel like there was a buckle up here, and a buckle up here. Okay. So what I was thinking was this. My hand is covered in paint. You guys can't see it right now, but it is covered in paint. And it's almost entirely on the side that's away from the camera because I keep putting it down on the paper towel I use to rinse the brush off and wipe the brush off with. So I'm just using the silver to essentially pick out details, so we've got kind of a contrast between the gray and the ridges, but the gray gives me the shading and the depth underneath and the kind of crevices down here, and this is going to give me the upraised kind of highlighty, light reflective parts. So is that acceptable, you think? It's not... I didn't go crazy and make it entirely silver, but it definitely is metallic. See if I can get it in the right light here. Yeah, like this is my finger. I always thought it was strange that this particular armor from Hero Forge has a collar on it, like a full. It looks like it has a fold-out collar on it up here, just because of the way it was designed. Have any other buckles back here? Let's get. I don't think I want to do a silver trim on her hat. I think that needs to be gold. Let's find out. Let's find out. It's going to be a little tricky to get, but we'll see what we can do. Plus my brush is being difficult and kind of irritating me. Stop it. Can you even see that? My thumb is wicked in the way, isn't it? Very tricky. My brush is kind of misbehaving here, and it's not giving me a good point to work with. Try and clean up this corner and this corner. There we go. Alright, brought that up to a gold. Yeah, I am going to do another shade on the hair just to work it together. Absolutely, Port. I do also feel like I need to bring the armor down a little bit. It's just a bit too bright as a big splash. I feel like on some of the hummingbirds there's a bit of the blue, but this is a bit too much, and I'm not sure how I feel about the trim on it with being silver, so I want to hit it with another layer of shade. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go back to this lovely purple that we were working with. I feel like I need to do some of the paneling in a purple color. So I'm going to, like, this little bit that's down here at the edge needs to have that purple. There's a little, the mirror bit on the other side also needs to have that purple. And it's mostly just hints of the purple as opposed to big old in your faces, because I want this blue and the purple to kind of work together a bit. Let's see if I can get this trim. I feel like it's going to work a little bit better if I edge the blue and purple. Because right now, to me, the blue feels flat. So if I get some of... See, that's working a little bit better. I feel like that actually makes it more natural looking with the purples along the trim sections. Oh, it's hard for you guys to see it at all. It's almost like my camera's not picking that up, which is a little bit weird. Sorry for the silence. I'm thinking hard while I'm going through here, trying to make sure. I gotta basically give her some more detail. Because she was way too flat previously. Yeah. Wow, it is not picking up the purples at all against that blue. There, you can kind of see it from this angle. But when I turn it this way, it's like it's not there. That's so crazy. I know, I feel like getting those purple straps in there helps that a lot. Let me get a good shade tone. No. No. I'm going to grab some of this Imperial Blue. I think we're going to mix it down. It's considerably darker, but it's kind of in the same shade family, and I want to put it underneath. So I'm going to make sure I've got a good point on this. And what I'd like to do is kind of get underneath. Not dark enough. Let's just go straight up with the Imperial. So underneath the arm, underneath here. Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm liking. I like it. I know you guys probably can't see it at all, but this is adding a bit of depth to that blue. You see that right along the right along this stripe right here? I did that dark blue, and it's going to give it a little bit of a shadow, and it's going to make it look a bit better. See if I can sneak it into some other little nooks and crannies and darken it up just a bit so that the blue acts more of a highlight. The blue that we ended up putting on. Kind of blending it up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so that's blue. That blue is working better with me, I feel. So let's get in, and I'm going to mix these two purples because I want to highlight. I want to highlight for this purple. We're going to start picking some of the raised sections as we get close to the end of the stream. Just gonna hit some of these corners. Just looking to bring out the edges a little bit. So that you can kind of see them. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. That's what I was looking for. Now she's starting to talk to me. We're just finding a way to bring everything together. Oh, now you start doing some old... Oh man, I haven't listened to Frontline Assembly in a long time. All right. There we go. Now the purple's looking good. Yeah, now the blue looks more natural. Now the purple looks better. Let's get in. I don't mind the silver as much now that it's in there. Let me grab some of this gold if it's still good. Metallics are picky. I gotta get to that shield at some point. All right. Bracer trim. Here we come. Bracer trim. do. All right, there we go. Sometimes the metallics drive me crazy because they don't necessarily behave like the other paint pigments do. In the right spot? Nope, I'm off camera. There we go. Here we go. Now it's behaving. Sometimes you gotta find the right spot on the brush. I feel like the gold buckles on all the red are going to work well. We're getting to the bottom of where that gold is going to behave, so let's get back in, refresh the brush. Try and get just the edges. Kind of getting into this buckle. Come on. Gotta make sure that these are actually properly bedazzled. All right. All right. So the blue, I feel, is a little better at this point. The red looks good. I want to do something with the skin. I'm tempted to try this one last time. I feel like I'm going to screw it up if I try and do that eye. I need to pick out some details in there, though. Where is... we're at 10:02. I wanted to finish her tonight. I mean, she's getting there. She's gaudy as all heck. Alright. So I think I'm going to do another shade wash on the hair. Possibly on the cloak. I want to bring the green down just a tiny bit, get it to the right spot. The blue is looking better to me. I feel like the purple in there also works. I need to do the sword and the shield, and maybe do some highlights on the boots. And I'll prep the base for next time. I guess we're going to do a part 2 next time because I've got some detail work to finish up. Anyhow, part 1 of Frost. I thought it was going to be just the one, but it looks like it's going to be more than one. But she's been fun. She's loud. She's crazy. Again, if you guys have Amazon Prime, you can link up your Twitch account. You'll get Twitch Prime, which means you get one free subscription every month. You got to do it every month. You got to click it every month. So hopefully you guys will come back and hang out some more. And we can get Frost finished up on... Oh, God, is it Thursday? I have to wait over the weekend. We'll see. Maybe we're not going anywhere, so maybe I'll pop a quick finish up Frost tomorrow afternoon or Saturday or something, depending on whether or not the mood really strikes me. Yeah, but if nothing else, we'll see you on Tuesday. Keep an eye out on Facebook and Twitter to see if I pop on an extra stream over the next couple of days. I do kind of want to see if I can get her finished. She looks really good tabletop wise. Like, you can pick out a lot of the details on her right now. She's looking great. I just need to finish up Sword and Shield and base, and we'll go from there. So part 2 will be soon. Tuesday, if nothing else. So yeah, have a great weekend. Wash your hands, keep healthy, and we'll all do our best to try and keep our heads on straight. And I will be looking forward to seeing you all in chat soon. And we'll see you then. Have a lovely night. Get some rest. We'll see you next time.